Nakajima had all the characteristics of someone that got picked on, the bland, nice guy with a punchable face look. He was transferred to an elite academy that was only for people with super abilities called talents. The school was located on an isolated island in the middle of the ocean. Nakajima was struggling to fit in because everyone assumed he had the weakest talent, so they called him normal. Moglo snatched the manga he was reading and burnt it with his fire ability because he knew the lad wouldn't do anything. Nakajima instead presented the homework he did for his tormentor. Seiya felt sorry for him and put out the fire with his ice ability. The ladies started to fangirl over Seiya, which made Mogo jealous, so he wanted to fight him. The teacher's arrival put an end to the antics. He started waffling on about how the school gave them the special training needed to defeat monsters known as the enemies of humanity that appeared 50 years ago. The students told him to shut up because he made that speech every time they had new students. Kiuya entered the room and introduced himself in such a straightforward way that Moglo confronted him. He demanded to know what kind of talent the newcomer had, but one hostile look from Kiuya made him back off and shit bricks. The teacher revealed that he didn't know what talent Kiuya had. Nakajima noted that students with powerful abilities tend to hide it. Based on this, he guessed that the newcomer's powers must be incredible. Nana was another new student that joined the class. She rushed in late, but Nakajima was smitten by her at first sight. She was a lot more open and revealed that she had the talent to read people's minds, but was shocking at reading social situations. She was told to sit next to Nakajima, which got him nervous. During break, she started a conversation with the loner by asking if he got picked on. He tried to downplay how bad it was till Moglo came over and shoved his head on the table and teased him about being the self-proclaimed leader. Nana ordered him to stop and expose the tormentor for trying to impress her because he wanted to ask her out. She bluntly told Moglo that she was not interested in him and turned her attention to Nakajima. She used her abilities to comment on how kind she knew he was and even knew that he was looking after a stray cat. Class was in session, so the teacher told her to be quiet and she apologized. He moved on to ask about them choosing a class rep. Most students wanted the role, which was not a surprise as it was a school full of leaders. Mogwo and Seiya made the boldest intent. Nana decided to nominate Nakajima, which surprised him and everyone else. Kiuya suggested they fight for the position, which got the class hyped as the ice and fire guy accepted. The loner was terrified. He came from a high-achieving household, but he was seen as the loser in the family. So he wanted to impress when he first arrived at the school and made a speech about wanting to lead the class, but they laughed at him. He recalled all of this as he put on his shoes after school. He had no intention to participate in the fight when Nana asked. She followed him to a food spot that was free for students, and they discussed their struggles as they ate. Nana noticed him looking at the expensive watch beside him as he spoke. After the meal, the two went to the cliffside so that she could view the ocean. He told her to be careful around the rope barrier since it was old. She asked about his ability, but he didn't want to disclose it and just told her that it was nothing special. One of the reasons he's kept it secret was because there were rumors that the enemies had infiltrated the island. Some of the monsters are humanoid and are intelligent, so he didn't want them having the advantage by knowing his ability. Nana suddenly fell over the cliff, but Nakajima saved her. She stated that a gust of sudden wind was the cause. During that interval, Kiuya was caught by the teacher as he looked through the students' profiles. Meanwhile, the two had arrived at the dorms where Nana overstepped when she commented on Nakajima's dad. The loner got offended and went inside. He got a knock on his door later that night, and it was Nana. She came with his watch just when he realized that he lost it. The following day, the fight between Moglo and Seiya was about to begin since Nakajima bowed out. The teacher didn't want them using their powers, so set the rules. It was a good old brawl with the loser being the first one to fall. The two had a high-level first clash where Moglo got cut in the face. He got angry and unleashed a fire attack. Seiya matched him with his ice ability and came out the victor after pinning his opponent down with some ice. The whole class rushed to him to celebrate. Seeing such support for Seiya enraged Mogwo, so he launched a huge fireball into the crowd. He realized it was too powerful after it left his hand. Nakajima didn't want anyone to get injured, so he sprang into action and blocked it. Everyone wondered how a weak, pathetic loser managed that. The loner shyly revealed that he had the ability to neutralize other people's talents. The class were impressed with his ability and his heroism, so they decided to make him their class rep. That evening, he went with Nana to the cliffside to talk about his sudden change in fortune. He thanked her for giving him that confidence to go for it. She took his hand as if they were having a moment, but she suddenly threw him off the cliff. Nakajima held onto the rope, confused as to why she did that. Nana's demeanor completely changed as she disclosed that she was talentless. It was her insane observational skill that allowed her to pretend to be able to read minds. Nakajima thought that she was an enemy of humanity, but she stated that he was rather the enemy, and he had the ability to be the leader of his kind. She only followed him around to learn what his ability was, so that she could find the best way to eliminate him. She watched as Nakajima lost his grip on the rope and fell to his demise. Nana looked at her phone, and it said that Nakajima's ability had the potential to eliminate over 1 million people. What she did was for the sake of humanity. When those with talents first appeared, there were countless casualty events. Humanity's law and ethics proved ineffective against them. So the government created an agency made up of those who also had abilities to deal with any super criminals. Sadly, those in the agency tried to overthrow the government, which erupted in a 5-year war. It came to an end when the people without powers, who were known as the talentless, won the fight. As decades passed, the state officially acknowledged the existence of the talented. They kept the younger ones in isolated training facilities and told them that they were training to fight monsters called the enemies of humanity. This was what the masses were led to believe, but these facilities were built to covertly eliminate the talented. They were no longer seen as human, but as the enemies of humanity. Nana was an agent of the committee, which was a group of talentless leaders that wanted to make sure they stayed on top. Her secret mission was to infiltrate the academy and eliminate every talented on the island. She was warned not to get compromised, otherwise those with abilities will band together and subjugate the talentless, which would mark the end of humanity. The following day, the students did some training for waterfront combat. Moguro complained to Nana about Nakajima not showing up to school after being made their leader. Some students struggled with the training. Shibusawa almost fell in the pond and revealed that he couldn't swim. Seiya leapt down and froze the pond because he found the exercise to be pointless. Nana checked and it was solid, which defied the laws of physics. At lunch, she sat with Seiya to find out more about his ability. She could tell he was lying about being able to freeze people. He changed the topic and made a comment on Nakajima's absence. Everyone believed that he was sick. Nana felt like she needed to make a move to completely cover her tracks. Their attention was drawn to a disagreement between Moguro and one of his minions. The fire guy went for a punch, but the situation suddenly changed, and he rather ended up on the floor. It was Shibusawa who used his power to intervene. He warned Moguro not to make noise during his mealtimes. The hothead submitted as he acknowledged Shibusawa as the strongest out of all of them. Nana was confused as to what just happened. Seiya stated that according to rumors, the guy had the power to stop time. Nana got a message informing her that Shibusawa was her next target. His powers had the potential to eliminate 800,000 people. She got to work fast and invited the guy out for a meal. Nana wanted to see his power at work again, so she knocked his glass of water over. He activated his ability, and the next moment he was holding the water like nothing happened. Nana quickly confronted him about him lying to everyone that his power was stopping time. Shibusawa confessed that he had the ability to go back in time. He could change the past, and its effects were reflected in the present. She was the first student to figure it out. Nana knew his ability could expose her, especially if he witnessed her in the act of conducting her mission. He was impressed with her and expressed his wish to work with her to save the world. Kiuya overheard and wondered if he could use his talent to investigate Nakajima's disappearance. He promised not to tell anyone about his ability. Nana turned and tried to challenge the idea that Nakajima was missing, but Kiuya revealed that the loner didn't contact the school to give a reason for his absence. He's also sure that Nakajima didn't return to his room because they are neighbors, and he didn't hear a single noise coming out of his room that night. They were all aware how thin the walls are. He even knocked on his door but got no response. Kiuya randomly started to play with Nana's hair as he asked some questions since they seemed close. After all, she could have been the last person to see him. She lied about the events and started to worry that his ability might have something to do with him playing with her hair. She asked, and he revealed that he just had a habit of grabbing onto loose ends. The way her hair was hanging was perfect to be tugged on. Nana was determined to move any suspicion from herself, so she pretended to have heard a strange thought from Kiuya and rushed to Shibusawa's side concerned. This prompted the time traveler to question the newcomer on his intentions. Kiuya just smiled and left, stating that he only came over trying to make friends. Her plan worked, because Shibusawa stated that they needed to be careful and offered to help her investigate the disappearance. They started in front of his dorm where Shibusawa went to the past and confirmed that Nakajima didn't come home. The guy was exhausted from using his ability. This triggered Nana to innocently ask more questions about his power to try and find out what his limitations were. Currently, he could only go back a day at most. He got more exhausted the further back in time he went. He also gets thrown back to the present if someone from the past registered his presence. Shibusawa went back again and learnt that Nana and Nakajima went to the shore that evening. He continued back and forth from the past as he followed them. Nana was getting worried that he might witness her eliminating the loner. He jumped one more time when they arrived at the cliff. Nana was just hoping that her past self would notice his presence and send him back before he could see anything. Her memories got altered because she saw him just before pushing Nakajima off the cliff. Since Shibusawa didn't see anything, he quelled all suspicion of her. They decided to stop for the day as it was getting late. That night, Nana launched her plan to eliminate Shibusawa. She covered part of the frozen pond with dirt to make it look like it was part of the ground. She then lured Shibusawa to that spot and confessed to seeing Nakajima getting eaten by the enemy there. She pled with him to go back and save him. The time traveler went and never came back. He fell into the water as it hadn't been frozen yet. Shibusawa drowned because he couldn't swim and was exhausted from the use of his abilities. No one noticed his body during the class exercise, so everything else played out the same as Seiya froze the pond, further sealing the evidence. Meanwhile, Kiuya continued his solo investigation and found himself on the cliff one rainy day. He casually jumped down when he noticed a glint at the bottom. The other students arrived in class and commented on Nakajima and Shibusawa not being present. Nana knew she had to be more cautious moving forward. Her job would be made harder if everyone realized that there was an assassin among them. Moglo was suspicious of Kiuya and commented on the rumors that the enemy had infiltrated their school. Seiya was more interested in hitting on Nana as she dried herself after being pelted by the rain outside. She showcased her pretend mind-reading ability when she commented that his girlfriend who was sat in front of them would not be happy. The guys were amazed by her talent, but Kiuya interjected and stated that Seiya was only soaked on his right side, while the girl was soaked on her left. An observant person could speculate with high certainty that they shared an umbrella while walking to school. His classmates were more puzzled as to why he had seaweed on his head. Nana tried to have lunch with him, but he rejected her offer, so she tailed him to an unused janitor's closet. She realized that he had been taking care of a cat, and was even heating milk for it. Under that grumpy exterior, he seemed to be a good person. She continued to try and interact with him by telling him about the seaweed that had been on his head since morning. He removed it and asked her to be his friend. Kiuya invited her to his room, which was an otaku's paradise. He even had a retro console that he got her to play with him. She seemed to make friends quickly, and he also wanted some companionship, so he wanted to know how she did it. She gave him some pointers, like trying to find people with mutual hobbies and interests. The grumpy guy revealed that people told him that he was difficult to approach. She agreed, and he made notes on her suggestions. Nana found him strange, but learned that he invited her because of Nakajima. He disclosed that he had a talented little sister that came to the island before him, and he hadn't heard from her since. He came with the hunch that there was more to the island. His suspicion was proven right so far. The school's lack of worry regarding Nakajima's disappearance, along with the absence of serious training and supervision, made him wonder if the school's real aim was to prepare them to fight the enemies. He showed her an old manga while he made his point, and she let him know that it was her favorite. They bonded over it till it was time for her to leave. That was when Kiuya shocked her by showing Nakajima's broken watch. He told her to follow him to the cliff and showed her where he found it. Kiuya fiddled with a loose tag he installed in his shirt as he tried to figure out what happened. He started to question Nana about what she was doing on the evening of the 13th, because he suspected that he disappeared on that day. He also deduced that the guy lost his life in the evening, since that was when the watch stopped. He suspected that Nakajima used the last of his strength to leave the watch as a clue. Kiuya didn't rule out that this was an enemy attack, but according to the textbooks, those attacks are mostly monsters, so he didn't think it made sense for them to push him off a cliff. He suggested that they inform the school of their find. After hearing him out, Nana concluded that Kiuya was too dangerous to be left alive. She tried to find out his talent, but he told her that it was nothing special. He just wanted to inform her of the danger since they were friends now. Nana laid in her room and stared at her phone because Kiuya had been highlighted as her new target. His potential elimination count is unknown. All she knew was that his talent was physical since he was able to go down the cliff to get the watch. Those with talents have some limitations that grounded them a little. Nana planned to set a trap the following day that would expose Kiuya's talent. The two later went to report what they had found about Nakajima to the teacher. The grumpy guy wanted him to contact his parents. The tutor enlightened them that it was impossible to contact the outside world until graduation. He told them to keep their find between themselves till he called his superiors. There would also be chaos if the other students found out. After that meeting, Kiuya knew that the school couldn't help them. Nana mentioned the cat Nakajima was looking after before leaving, but he found it strange that the girl was not fazed by her friend's death. Her comments about the cat prompted him to go feed it. Nana followed him and thought that she had the overwhelming advantage because it was highly unlikely that someone would figure out that the talented gathered on the island were being eliminated in secret by a talentless. On the other hand, Kiuya was sure he had a good chance of uncovering the truth if there was an entity that had the goal of eliminating them all. He entered the storeroom and couldn't find the cat, but still decided to leave it food. The storeroom exploded as soon as he turned the stove to heat the milk. From the clues in his room, Nana deduced that the guy didn't have a sense of smell, so he would have never perceived that the room was full of gas. She came out to see what his talent was, and was shocked at the sight of his charred body. She thought he would use his ability to escape. The concerned girl turned to go get help, but Kiuya grabbed her foot, causing her to fall. His body started to heal as he wondered how she was the first one on the scene, and knew he was the one in the flames. He noted that she looked like she had seen a ghost, as he revealed that his talent was immortality. He told her that he was born without the ability to smell, which wasn't a limitation of his abilities. He said that his immortality did come with a price, and let her know through his thoughts. Nana pretended to have read his mind. As Kiuya walked away, she promised to find out his weakness no matter what. By the next day, the class had heard about the explosion. Mogwo tried to tease Kiuya, but he told him that it was not his fault he got attacked by the enemy. He was sure that the same entity ended Nakajima and Shibusawa. The guys didn't believe him, but they had a concerned look on their faces when he asked them to explain what happened to the missing boys. Mogwo voiced his theory that Kiuya was the culprit. All the while Nana listened in while cleaning the board. She regretted setting the trap without knowing what Kiuya's talent was. Now she had to find a way of getting him off her tail so that she could advance her mission. Some girls came holding a love letter that was written to Machiru. They read it out for all to hear, and the confessor wanted to meet her at the flower beds. Nana knew it was a prank from one look at the letter. Machiru noticed the cut on her leg and healed it with a lick. She had the ability to heal, but it shortens her lifespan. Nana thanked her for the help, and later got a message stating that she was her next target. The healer's ability could slay up to 150,000 people if she was left unchecked. Given her talent, Nana knew she would hinder her mission if left alive. She also realized that Kiuya was following her around, so she decided to help Machiru by telling her that the love letter was a prank. She even exposed the two girls hiding in the bushes, which caused them to run off. Machiru was upset because she thought they were her friends. Nana invited her to lunch to cheer her up. They spent their break together where Nana learned a lot about her target. Later that night, she planned to poke Machiru from the back because she wouldn't be able to lick that area to heal herself. She grabbed her weapon and prepared to leave only to find Kiuya sitting outside. He told her that he was worried, so decided to watch over her. Nana thanked him and went back inside and blasted some music. She used it as a cover to leave through the window, but he got a glimpse of her running away. Nana rushed into Machiru's room and warned her of an enemy attack. Kiuya heard some screams and ran toward it to find Nana with a poke wound to the back. Machiru explained that she was attacked by an enemy. Nana knew that Kiuya suspected her of being the assassin, so she had retreated to the role of a victim. She stabbed herself in the back when Machiru was distracted with the fake enemy. She then hid the weapon she used and laid there knowing that she would be saved by Machiru's talent. Nana planned to use this incident to be elected as the class leader. Kiuya was still suspicious of the whole situation, so he interrogated the girls on what happened during class the following day. Nana knew it would be difficult for him to fully commit to the theory that she poked herself, because he wouldn't be able to figure out her motive for doing such a thing. After the staged attack, everyone in the class now believed that the enemies of humanity had infiltrated the island. Nana gave an emotional speech about how Nakajima must have been eaten by the monsters. She expressed her guilt for not noticing sooner since she could hear the thoughts of the enemy with her power. But we all know that all her talk was bogus. Machiru interrupted and suggested they make Nana their leader. They all agreed since she could hear the thoughts of the enemy. She thanked everyone for their support, as Tsunakichi watched on with a smug smile. After school, she gave Machiru a book to list out everyone's talents and personalities. It seemed like she wanted to learn more about the people she was leading, but she needed this information to plan her eradication of the class. The position was also perfect for her, because she could dictate when and where the enemies appeared and disappeared. The enemy would be assigned the blame when she destroyed someone. Kiuya interrupted her thoughts to apologize for suspecting her since she's a victim now. Nana knew that he still doubted her. He caught a glimpse of her wound, and it looked like it was inflicted with a tool, which was odd considering the enemy were supposed to be monsters who didn't need such things. The grumpy guy left her to think on that. He didn't have any proof that she poked herself, so no one would believe him. Meanwhile, Nana chose to use a more magic-like method of exterminating her targets going forward. She found some deadly berries in the forest and made a poison which she used to coat some needles. She was stopped by Tsunakichi as she returned to her dorm. He asked for a moment and told her that he knew the future. He showed a picture of her with a skipping rope around his neck. He asked her to explain it. Nana took the picture and already analyzed it. She recognized the location as the school's gym storage shed, and based on the time in the picture, it would happen at 10 p.m. She tried to act oblivious, so Tsunakichi dragged her to the food place so that they could discuss further. He made them open to serve them. The two placed their order, and while they waited, Tsunakichi told her that the photos his powers capture can't be avoided. He proved this by showing Nana a picture of noodles on her face. She thought she could change the outcome by ordering something else, but the waiter slipped as she returned the noodles, and it landed on Nana's face just like the picture. He wanted to know why she would end his life. She continued to act innocent till he pulled out a picture of her pushing Nakajima off the cliff. Nana's soul jumped out of her body, but she maintained her composure. Tsunakichi disclosed that he foresaw Nakajima's demise the day she transferred to the school. She was aware of what he was after since he hadn't exposed her yet. He wanted to use it to blackmail her. Like clockwork, Tsunakichi asked her to be his girlfriend. She agreed to entertain him for now. The lad was confident that he wouldn't lose his life before 10 p.m. at the specified location. He made Nana stay the night and placed his hand on a camera before going to bed. She watched him sleep when suddenly the camera started to print pictures. Nana guessed that this ability allowed him to take pictures of his precognitive dreams. However, he couldn't choose what he saw about the future. She looked at the pictures, and one caught her attention for all the wrong reasons, so she hid it. Nana confirmed that the camera wasn't some kind of magic tool, which meant that Tsunakichi's talent was solely dependent on him, and the camera was just the medium he used to manifest it. The device likely had the evidence of her pushing Nakajima off the cliff in its memory, meaning she would have to get rid of it somehow. The following day, Tsunakichi woke up to find her sitting there. He looked through his new pictures of the future and noticed that one was missing. He searched Nana and recovered it, but it wasn't where she initially hid it. It was a picture that showed her meeting her demise instead. This gave Tsunakichi confidence that he wouldn't die, and he was looking forward to their meeting later that night. He ordered her to clean the room while he took a shower. She wanted to take him out, but she heard some boys outside the room. She instead turned the time back on his watch by 10 minutes. Before she left his room, he told her that he would circulate the incriminating photos if she didn't come to the shed at that night. Nana got there earlier and checked her phone. Tsunakichi's talent could cause up to 500,000 fatalities. She dropped her needles just before he entered so she couldn't retrieve it. She chose to try and take him out with the skipping rope. However, it didn't mean that it was his demise because he managed to prevent the rope from catching him. He knocked Nana to the ground and revealed that he knew she tampered with his watch. Unfortunately for him, he slammed her next to her poison needles, which she covertly used on him. Tsunakichi collapsed to the ground and wondered why his life was ending. She told him that she faked the picture of her being tied up. She showed him the real fifth picture as the room lights turned on. She hid the picture behind her back as Kiuya and Machiru entered. The scene was just like the picture she hid at her back. They came looking for her because Machiru hadn't seen her in almost 2 days. They did a mini investigation which led them to Tsunakichi's room because he was going around saying that he and Nana were a couple. They found the fake picture she took and got a glimpse of the one where she had soba noodles on her head. She was relieved this was all they found. She also managed to hide the picture she had behind her back as she fell to the ground like she was disturbed by the whole situation. Nana told Kiuya that Tsunakichi was blackmailing her with some terrible pictures. She was sure that the grumpy guy would not go looking for any more pictures if he knew that was the content. Nana informed them that Tsunakichi suddenly passed away while he was trying to attack her. Machiru quickly checked his body and didn't see any external causes. Since Nana was cleared, she thanked them for coming to her rescue and left. She went straight to Tsunakichi's room and found the incriminating pictures. She shoved them in her bag when Kiuya called to her. He came to look for more clues that could shed light on what happened. She explained that she returned to the room to collect some of her things since she spent the night there. Kiuya found it strange that the picture of Nana exiting the world didn't come true, because Tsunakichi used to brag that his premonitions always happened. She tried to dismiss his statement, but Kiuya didn't rule out the possibility that the picture of Nana wasn't a premonition, and even guessed that she probably took it herself as part of her plan to take him out. Nana got to her room and realized that the picture of her dealing with Nakajima was missing. She was certain that it was with Tsunakichi. She rushed back to the storeroom, but Machiru had already found it while she was trying to revive the lad. Nana might have to put down Machiru based on her reaction to the picture. The healer handed it over, which was the choice that saved her. Nana lied that Tsunakichi's premonitions became less reliable because he skipped class a lot. The picture she saw was a scene from one of his dreams, because he was jealous of how close she and Nakajima were. She pled with Machiru to keep the picture a secret between them. The day of Tsunakichi's funeral came, and Kiuya was surprised that the teacher didn't call the police given the strange circumstance and how he passed away. The teacher explained that there were no police on the island, so the students had to regulate themselves. However, the army are on standby in case of any emergencies, so Kiuya took matters into his own hands. First, he told the students that Tsunakichi didn't lose his life to an illness, but according to Nana, he was slain by the enemies of humanity. Everyone started to whisper among themselves. Nana stood up and told him not to scare them all needlessly. He stated his intention to do an autopsy. The class rep tried to stop him because she didn't want him to find any clues. They all paused when the coffin lid opened. Shinji used his necromancy talent to animate Tsunakichi's body. He did this so that they could find out what happened to him by asking directly. The students were freaked out, so his friend Yuka told him to stop. He put Tsunakichi back in his box after hearing all the complaints. Yuka tried to do some PR work for Shinji as she assured everyone that he was not a bad person. The teacher made sure that his pupils was settled before bringing in the priest to complete the funeral ceremony. Things got back to normal quickly. Seiya tried to talk to Yuka, but she almost beat him because she knew he had a girlfriend. All the while, Nana had her sights on her next targets. She asked Yuka about Shinji since he was rarely at school. She told her that he sleeps most of the time, and was happy that the class leader showed concern. From the way she spoke about him, Nana was sure that Yuka would be asking too many questions if she took out her best friend. She stalked the two later that night, and planned to do a double assassination, but Kiuya spotted her while on night patrol. She told him that she heard their thoughts and just came to check on them. He casually stated that if he was the one taking out the students, he would choose Shinji as his next target, because of his ability to make the dead talk. Shinji excused himself as soon as they spotted Kiuya and Nana. Yuka stuck around and disclosed that she and Shinji were childhood friends, and told stories of their escapades. The following day, Nana pretended to be sick and went to the infirmary to rest. Luckily for her, everyone was doing some training, so she slipped out and rushed to the boys' dorm when the coast was clear. She went into Shinji's room and poked him with a poison needle to make him sleep forever. She muttered that Yuka was next. But for now, Nana had to get back before Kiuya noticed her absence. She was right, because he had asked Machiru, and they were going to the infirmary to check on her. Nana was not going to make it on time. She saw the cat stuck in the gutter and used that as her excuse as to why she was outside. Yuka later joined the rescue effort, but refused to use her super strength to break the concrete, which Nana found strange. Kiuya had a can of cat food in his room, which they used to lure the feline out. Yuka lied, stating she was allergic to animals, which made her unable to use her talent around them. Later that night, Nana snuck into Yuka's room to finish her off with her needle, but someone attacked her from behind and pinned her down. Yuka was really the necromancer, and Shinji was a deceased friend who she couldn't let go of. The poison needle had no effect on him because he was already lifeless, so he heard her plan to attack Yuka next. Looking back at Nana's behavior surrounding Tsunakichi's passing, Yuka wondered if she had something to do with it. Nana confessed but preferred to be an assassin than someone who uses the dead as her toys. Yuka was surprised by how nasty the real Nana was, but she was confident that they had the upper hand in this situation. Nana pointed out how she would manipulate the truth and gain the support from the other students after she exposes the fact that Yuka lied about her ability. Nana proposed a deal that she would keep Yuka's secret and would no longer target her or Shinji. The necromancer was reluctant since she had the advantage. Nana played on Yuka's love for Shinji by offering to also share his thoughts about her in exchange for her release. Yuka couldn't reject such an opportunity and let her go. She was expecting to hear something positive, but Nana told her that Shinji thought they should finish her off. Nana ran out of the room and Shinji confirmed what she said. He also called her stupid for letting her go. Yuka grabbed some items from under her bed and rushed out to find her. Nana expected them to follow her, so she lured them into the forest. It was revealed that Yuka needed an item from the deceased person she wanted to control. That was why she had Tsunakichi's necklace under her bed. Nana tried to take Yuka's special necklace, thinking that it was connected to Shinji, but she was forced to retreat when the lad prepared to attack. Yuka summoned more zombies to chase down the assassin. She found all those bodies around the island, and from their memories they met painful ends. Nana wondered if this was done by her predecessor. If so, the committee didn't inform her about it. One of the corpses was a student who had a night vision talent, so Yuka could see perfectly at night through his eyes. Nana now understood that all the random items under her bed belonged to these people. The assassin found an abandoned shed that locked from the outside because the inside one was broken. She grabbed some tape and hatched a plan based on some deduced reasoning. She tried to fortify the door and quickly barricaded herself inside when Yuka arrived with her army of zombies. Unfortunately for her, there were some corpses already inside the shed. As they were about to attack her, the sun started to rise. All the zombies became inactive. The sun was the limitation to the necromancy talent. Yuka locked her inside the shed and planned to return during the night to finish her off. Nana lunged at her with a box cutter out of frustration, but the bars on the window held her back. Yuka went to class and was exhausted. She told Kiuya that she and Nana spoke till late the previous night, but lied about not knowing her whereabouts when he asked her. Night soon came, and Yuka went straight to the shed to finish her hunt. They entered and found no sign of Nana. There was no indication of a forced exit either. Yuka thought she was pretending to be one of the corpses, but that was not the case. She searched till day broke again. Yuka carried Shinji back to his room when Nana attacked her from behind. She pinned her down and took out a ripped-up test that was preserved in a Ziploc bag. That was the true personal item of Shinji. Nana noticed Yuka instinctively covered her back pocket when she tried to take the necklace the previous night. Nana took them to the infamous cliff and dangled the test paper over the edge to keep her in line. Yuka wanted to know how she escaped. The assassin pretended to be fortifying the shed when they arrived. She had already removed the nails holding the outside lock. She then placed the tape over it to keep it in place, so all she had to do was push the door once the coast was clear. Yuka pled for mercy. As soon as she realized she didn't stand a chance, the girl was as weak as a talentless person during the day. Nana asked for her needles back and dropped Shinji's memento when Yuka was distracted getting it. She let out a cry of despair and called Nana cruel because they were just defending themselves from her attack. Nana shut her up by pointing out the inconsistencies in the stories she told about her and Shinji's past. The fact that her keepsake of him was a torn-up test confirmed her suspicion. Yuka was Shinji's stalker, and she got jealous of his relationship with his real girlfriend. So she caused his death and brought him to the island along with her, so that they could be together. This was why she wanted to keep her ability, and the fact that he was a corpse a secret. Yuka started to panic while justifying her actions. Nana was not interested and finished her off with the needle. She disposed of her into the ocean, but left Shinji as the stench from his decomposed body filled the air. While Nana walked through the forest, she wondered how she could use the corpses that littered the place. Her thoughts were disturbed when she bumped into Habu soon after. The girl needed to eat raw, toxic animals occasionally because she had the talent to turn her saliva into poison. Nana asked of Kaori since they were always together. Habu revealed that they had a fight because Kaori accused her of stealing her contact lenses. Nana took the opportunity to take her out and got her phone passcode by offering to give her the antidote in return. She looked through Habu's bag and found the contacts. Nana quickly thought of a way she could use the situation to clean the current mess. First, she slipped into Kaori's room and returned the contacts, then went back to school where Kiuya wanted to know why she was absent the previous day. Yuka hadn't come in yet, and Shinji hasn't been in his room since the previous night. He was sure she had some knowledge of what happened. He was shocked when Nana confessed that she let Yuka pass away and told him to follow her. She wanted Machiru, Seiya, and Mogwo to tag along. While en route, she explained her edited version of what happened. They were stunned to learn that Yuka was the necromancer, and Shinji was slain by her in a crime of passion to make him hers. They arrived at the cliffside and were horrified by the sight. Nana stated that Yuka jumped off the cliff to meet with Shinji in the afterlife, after she told her that the lad's soul had feelings for her. Machiru assured Nana that it was not her fault when she tried to blame herself. She asked Mogwo to put Shinji to rest by cremating him using his power. Kiuya was okay with it since the body was too decomposed. His main aim was to keep a close eye on Nana. They then went around the forest to do the same to the other bodies Yuka controlled. Kiuya had his main objective, so he didn't challenge the cremation. Nana was aware that he had an eye on her, even though his sister could have been part of these unknown victims. They returned to the dorm, and Seiya suggested they tell the other students what happened. Nana objected to this and dropped the bombshell that an enemy with the ability to control weak-minded humans manipulated Yuka. Kiuya was fed up with the lies and confronted Nana of her whereabouts when these students perished, because no one can seem to confirm seeing her. A scream from the ladies' dorm cut his accusation short. They rushed in to find Kaori deceased. Kiuya examined the body and determined that it was less than 2 hours since the time of her passing. He asked Machiru to get his medical bag from his room but told Nana to stay with him. He began his work when his bag arrived and noted that the cause of Kaori's fatality was the same as Tsunakichi's. From the wounds on her face, he guessed that she was trying to remove something from her eyes. He tasted the liquid inside her contact lens case and confirmed that it was poison. Nana made a mental note that he's immune to poison, but it still made him suffer. Kiuya took a sample to try so that he could figure out the toxicant later. He was certain the contaminated contacts were what finished Kaori off. He then started to timeline Nana's movement by questioning her, but she seemed to have an alibi. Machiru gave her further cover when she opened Kaori's phone and found her messages with Habu. This made it look like she was the culprit. The last message was sent at 3 p.m. That was all the information Kiuya needed to continue his theory that Nana was the slayer. He speculated that Nana eliminated Habu in the morning while she was looking for her toxic animals to eat in the forest. She then left the poisoned contacts in Kaori's room before coming to school. Habu's body was likely cremated in the forest along with the others because Nana changed her clothes into a boy's uniform. Kiuya felt like she was trying to get him to examine the corpses while in the forest because it would have given her the chance to get rid of Habu's phone she used to send the last apology message, which lowered Kaori's guard enough to put on the contacts. Nana tried to deny it, but Kiuya had his hand in her pocket expecting to find the phone. He patted her down like a TCA officer and found nothing, which made him frustrated while Nana was having a mental monologue of how she made herself look innocent. She racked her brain on the best way to get rid of the phone, while also making sure Kaori met her demise when she was in front of Kiuya. So she wrote the message and tied the finger of one of the corpses above the phone. As the sun hit the body, it decomposed the hand, which caused it to hit the send button. All that took long enough for her to get into position. Kaori had a teleportation ability, so she made her way to the room and put on the contaminated contacts, which finished her. The cremation party didn't check any of the corpses before burning them, so they got rid of the phone and Habu for her. Kiuya had to swallow his pride and apologize to Nana in front of everyone. She closed the chapter by first stating that Habu was controlled by an enemy when she eliminated her friend. The assassin then pulled on everyone's heartstrings by scamming them into believing that she heard Habu's soul wish for them to get along and not doubt each other. Kiuya volunteered to watch over Kaori's body till the following day and notify the school of what happened. That night, Nana was on lookout duty at the girls' dorm when she was joined by Machiru, who told her to rest while she took over for a little while. Nana woke up with Machiru holding a box cutter to her neck. The assassin immediately knew that this was an imposter. She managed to disarm them, but the person had already figured that Nana couldn't read minds from their interaction. The presence of some female students put an end to the confrontation. The imposter wanted to expose Nana for lying about her ability. The following day in class, the fake Machiru asked Nana to identify the present that was in a box by reading her mind. Nana didn't have a clue, so she just said she was tired to avoid answering. The imposter said they would come back when she was rested. Fake Machiru asked again later, but Nana was able to prepare some commotion to prevent herself from giving an answer. After school, the imposter met up with Nana at the cliffside and dropped the bombshell that they knew about all her exterminations. The imposter distracted her for a moment and introduced himself as Jin. He was one of the students from the last batch that was on the island 5 years ago. He wanted to make a deal with Nana. The senior assured her that Machiru was safe. He only knocked her out with some sleeping pills while he impersonated her. Jin took her to his hideout, where he revealed that he sometimes impersonated the cat to get closer to her to learn what she was planning. He also disclosed that his class had a lethal battle among themselves, which was triggered from the distrust caused by some unexplained fatalities. The teachers escaped from the island as if they knew the fight was going to happen. The bodies that Yuka used were members from Jin's class. Nana assumed that he survived by using his shape-shifting powers to turn into a cat. Jin ignored the verbal jab and continued his tale. After all his classmates passed away, he flew back to the mainland to see his grandmother, who was his only relative, who didn't believe he was alive. Jim returned to the island because some men in black were also after him. The incident with his class was kept top secret, and the government started to bring people to the island again. Jin suspected that it was part of a government scheme, and his conscience wouldn't rest if he didn't get to the bottom of it. His deal was to let Nana roam freely for now, but he wanted her to explain her motive, as it could prevent a repeat of what happened 5 years ago. He wanted to hear her story, and if she refused, he would do the oblivious students a favor and eliminate her before history repeated itself. Jin suddenly fell to the ground in agony because Nana poisoned him. She thought he was dead, so she pulled out her phone to tell the committee about her encounter. Jin took the form of Kiuya and collected the phone. He impersonated Nana's other classmates to stop her from leaving. He was sure that the information on the device would blow this mystery open. He also revealed that he can copy the talents of the people he impersonated. He was the last man standing for a reason. Nana realized that her senior was a true enemy of humanity. The guy's ability made him a real OP monster. He wanted to know who she was trying to call. Nana maintained her composure as she analyzed the situation. She found a chance to escape as he tried to figure out what estimated fatality count meant. Jin shapeshifted into Mogwo and hit her with a fireball that scorched her back. He caught up to her and started talking about how a girl in his class also used to mention estimated fatality count. He thought that it was some cheesy nonsense, but after coming across the phrase again, He was sure that someone gave Nana her phone. He offered it to her to make a call for help so that he could find out who it was, but she didn't take the bait. However, she did give him a quick glimpse into her life when he asked. She disclosed that her parents were eliminated by a talented. Her injuries started to cause her to black out. Jin picked her up and told her to stay on her guard because she might not be the only life-taker on the island. She later woke up in Machiru's room, and the healer was so happy to see that she was fine. Nana told her that she was attacked by an enemy, prompting Machiru to disclose that she also might have been knocked out by a monster who then impersonated her. Nana told her that that was the creature she was tracking down before she got taken out. The two started to talk, and Nana revealed a small part of her sad past. Machiru felt bad and let her know that she's around if she ever needed someone to talk to about it. The students later gathered for the funerals of the peers they lost recently. Classes had been suspended until their next resupply shipment. Kiuya told his teacher to let him talk to the higher-ups when they next called. The tutor got a little annoyed that he was trying to boss him around. Meanwhile, Machiru showed signs of fatigue because she had been trying to hone her powers. She told Nana that she was fine, so the assassin didn't pry further. Nana went back to her room to think about her next move when she was joined by Jin, who came to check on her. She wondered why he didn't heal her with Machiru's powers if he cared so much. This triggered her to finally understand one of his weaknesses. Jin also experienced the side effects of the talented people he impersonated. He gave Nana back her phone, but he wanted her to open up about her past in exchange. A knock on the door by Machiru stalled the conversation. She wanted to come to check on Nana's injuries, and she also sought companionship because she didn't feel safe in her room with all the incidents recently. Nana was reluctant to let her in at first, but she noticed that Jin had turned into the cat, so she allowed her to enter. It was the first time that Machiru had entered the room and was impressed by how organized it looked. Nana could see that she wanted to hear more about her past. Jin meowed because that's what he also craved. She disclosed that she was a messy child who loved to play board games and read comics. One night she snuck out of her room window to go buy a comic from the convenience store. She returned and played a little before going to bed. The following morning she woke up to a quiet house, which was strange. So she went to her parents' room to find them slain. While questioning her, the police accidentally said in front of her that the culprit was a talented, and they gained access through the window she left open. Nana's face froze in grief, and she had been blaming herself for her parents' demise ever since. Her resentment for the talented grew as she got older. Just retelling the story got her agitated. A gentle touch from Machiru calmed her down. The girls went to bed and were woken up the next morning by Kiuya, who barged in and ordered the girls to follow him. He led them to Ryuji's room, who laid there after being taken out. Nana was surprised because it wasn't her, so she wondered if this meant that there was another predator among them. Kiuya had already examined and concluded that his airway was nicked before a few holes were put in his back. Mogwo was the first to be questioned since he was his neighbor. He told them that he was giving Shoichi, Sota, and Rentaru a 5-hour motivation lecture that started in the evening. They began right after the funeral. Mogwo spoke so loudly that they didn't hear anything. Kiuya wanted them all to demonstrate their abilities. Sota had the talent to mimic voices, Rentaru could part his soul from his body, and Shoichi had bootleg magnetism. Kiuya was sure that Ryuji was liquidated the previous night because he was at the funeral that evening, and it was his girlfriend Serrano who found him the next morning. She introduced herself and stated they had been in a relationship for many years. Kiuya wanted to see her ability too. She asked them to go outside for her to demonstrate. Her talent allowed her to airbend. Kiuya made himself the target for her to attack. She hit him with a precise air slice that cut him. She found it difficult to control the stagnant indoor air, so her power worked best when the air was able to flow. Kiuya and Nana noted that the window at the crime scene was open. Kiuya paused his investigation to take the call with the teacher's superiors. He wanted to lodge a formal complaint about what had been happening on the island. Nana was aware that it was pointless, because they are the ones ordering the exterminations. She returned to Ryuji's room to probe around. She also realized that Machiru had been in deep thought since morning, and was worried that she had found something out. The girls went to lunch where Machiru spoke about her life back at home, and even wanted Nana to stay with her when they graduated. Nana got annoyed and took it like the healer was rubbing her wealthy and nice family in her face. She slammed her food on the table and stormed off. Nana sat in her room and wondered why she exposed her emotions in such a manner. She ended that trail of thought because she needed to figure out what Machiru knew. Her deliberations were interrupted by their teacher, who gave her a new uniform. Machiru requested a new one for her because her old one was burnt. Nana realized that she left her bottle of poison in her old uniform and suspected that Machiru must have seen it, which would explain her strange behavior. Things got worse when Kiuya came to tell Nana that Machiru came to him for some advice involving her, but she changed her mind and left without asking him. Currently, he wanted her to accompany him to go talk to Serrano. The teacher told Kiuya that a government bigwig was coming for an inspection because of his phone call. Nana wanted to finish off as many students as possible before then. The two went to talk to the heartbroken girl. She had an alibi which placed her with a friend during the night of the slaying. It is also revealed that Ryuji was a funny guy who was more popular than Seiya. He and Serrano's relationship was on the rocks, so they were a bit distant at the time of his demise. Kiuya had heard enough and excused himself. Serrano begged Nana to help her avenge her man. When they got outside, Kiuya asked Nana if Serrano was lying about anything. She told him that she was not focused on her thoughts to read them. Although she didn't think that Serrano was the culprit based on their current timeline of events. Kiuya thought otherwise. He pointed out how Ryuji had the ability to shrink himself, so he would have just done that and escaped if he had a confrontation with his attacker. His room was a mess and the window was open. After examining the effects of Serrano's abilities, she was Kiuya's #1 suspect. He went to go figure out her motive so that he could put pressure on her. Nana turned her attention to Machiru. She knocked and entered her room to find her showering, so Nana used this opportunity to search her place for the poison. She couldn't find it anywhere, but she did stumble on Machiru's diary and expected to find something that would link her to the fatalities. But her heart rather softened as she read all the positive things Machiru said about her. The healer's main goal was to make Nana smile. Jin came up behind her holding the poison and berated her for suspecting her #1 fan. The senior returned the bottle and her phone. He told her to check on Machiru because it seemed like she had been in the shower for too long. Nana rushed in to find her lying in the bath unconscious. She pounced over and was a little bit relieved that the healer was still alive, though the thought of leaving her to perish crossed Nana's mind. But she grabbed Machiru out, got her changed and into bed. The girl had a weak pulse and high fever among other symptoms. Nana went to the teacher to inform him about her condition. The tutor told her that the island's doctor had gone to the mainland. He suggested she ask Kiuya for help, so she went over to his room, but he was examining Ryuji's body to try and find an estimated time of demise. The immortal was impressed with her medical knowledge when she asked for a specific medication. He gave her some, and she rushed to get water and food. The dining hall was closed, so she broke in to make food and cut herself on the shattered glass while gaining access. Nana returned to the room to give the treatment. She was later joined by Kiuya when he finished his autopsy. He checked Machiru and concluded that it wasn't an infection or anything of the sort. However, he didn't have the facilities to find out the cause of her condition. He observed how messy her room was, but Nana lied that she caused the mess while trying to look for her clothes. The guy knew it was Cap since her desk drawers were also opened. He was hoping that Machiru came to him earlier with information she had found linking Nana to the crimes. He returned to his investigation and went to check Shoichi's room for any clues. As they discussed the case, the plagiarized Magneto revealed that he noticed some deceased animals near the school recently. They had their airways nicked too. Meanwhile, Nana breathed a sigh of relief when Michiru's fever had come down. She rejected Serrano's offer to take over watching her so she could get some rest. All of Nana's hard work paid off because the healer finally woke up. She fainted because Jin brought an injured cat for her to save. She used her ability to heal it but felt cold after, so she decided to get a shower to warm up. That was when she fainted. Machiru spotted Nana's cut and tried to heal it, but she scolded her for trying to use her power again. The healer lightened the mood when she commented on how messy Nana's hair was, which led to them playing around. All the while, Jin confronted the person responsible for Ryuji's and the animal attacks. He warned them not to harm the animals because they had done nothing. He then started to think about the lack of information he found on Nana's phone, but the thing that he was certain about was that the estimated fatality count assigned to every talented person was a fabrication. He wondered what kind of evil men would lie to Nana like this to make her capable of committing such atrocities. The committee were exactly those types of men, and they discussed how well Nana was doing so far with 6 fatalities. They attributed her efficacy to Tsuruoka. He was the bigwig that was coming to inspect the island after Kiuya's complaints. He saw Nana as family. During that interval, Kiuya questioned Rentaro about Ryuji and learnt that the late student was a faithful boyfriend. He never used his popularity to play the field. Hearing this ruled it out as a motive for Serrano. Nana was really starting to get close with Machiru, and she was sure that Tsuruoka would be disgusted if he saw her. She asked about someone called Hitomen, because the healer likened Nana to her in her diary. Machiru thought that she used her mind-reading ability to get the name, so she disclosed that she was a friend who protected her in school and gave her confidence, but she passed away from a terminal illness. The healer felt so sad that she couldn't save her friend. Nana excused herself and fell to the floor in agony because of the friendship she was building with Machiru. She went to her room in a daze as she recalled her parents' passing and the psychological programming that Tsuruoka performed on her through blame. Her fall into despair was interrupted by Machiru. She finally revealed what was really on her mind these few days. She asked her to remember the morning she discovered that her parents had passed away and wanted to know if she stepped on anything as she was leaving her room. Nana gasped as she realized that she didn't. It was confirmation that it was not her fault that her parents passed away. They cleaned the room when she went to bed, which means they likely closed the window too, so the culprit couldn't have entered through her room. They were still alive when she came home from her late-night store run. Nana couldn't believe that this was what the healer was thinking about this whole time, and felt bad for thinking that Machiru was going to betray her. Nana wondered if someone like her could be friends with a pure soul like Machiru. The following day, the duo went to the market that was set up during the supply ship's arrival. Nana saw a pencil and thought it would be a nice present for her new friend. Her happiness was ruined when Kiuya came over. He was planning on exposing the culprit who slayed Ryuji, but he really wanted to find out their motive, because that would inform them on who their next target would be. The students continued to shop till the pop-up market closed. The two friends exchanged gifts while on their way back to the dorm. Machiru gave her a pillow to help her get good rest, which made Nana happy. All the while, Kiuya found a bag with Serrano's gym gear inside, and it had natural ketchup all over it. Nana was later visited by Jin, who informed her that Machiru was going to meet someone in secret at an abandoned beach house. It had to be one of the lowest IQ moves a student has made so far. Some of these guys were just dumb, except Kiuya. How the rest don't suspect Nana by now is beyond me. Anyway, the assassin grew some compassion and rushed out to try and save her friend. She knew that Kiuya was the only one with a good brain that could help save her. Meanwhile, the attack on Machiru had begun. The guy took a slice at her face. He targeted things that people admired because he enjoyed defiling them, and Machiru fit that description perfectly. The terror in her face was palpable. Nana desperately ran to the beach to find her friend when Tsuruoka called. She picked up and stood at attention. She gave him the situation report and lied that she was chasing down her next victim. Her mentor reminded her of the huge payday she would receive if she succeeded. Her wish was to use that money to fund the education of children who lost their parents to people with powers. Her current paycheck was going to her extended family. He praised her on the job she was doing so far and left her to continue. As that was going on, Machiru was chased to a dead end. Nana couldn't pretend not to care about her friend and threw herself in front of the blade just as it was about to finish her. She revealed that the culprit was Rentaru. He used his ability to sneak out to finish off Ryuji, but he opened the window so that his soul could still listen to Mogwo's lecture while his body was unconscious, making it the perfect alibi. While in his spirit state, he could pass through walls as well as interact with objects, so he was using a sharp knife to attack them. Rentaro took another plunge at Nana's back as she tried to protect Machiru. She wanted to create time for her to escape, but the healer didn't want to leave her, so Nana called her a dog and said that she was only friends with her because she wanted to use her abilities. This was enough to make Machiru run away upset. She kept Rentaru occupied by stating that she had a plan. All the stalling gave Kiuya enough time to find the real body, which was in a locked cubicle. He strangled Rentaru to bring him back to it. All the while, Nana sustained some serious injuries and was about to lose her life. She was happy that she got to make one genuine friend. Machiru doubled back to save Nana, who was in critical condition. She used her powers to heal Nana, but she lost her life in the process. Nana woke up and started crying when she realized that her only friend had passed away.